On behalf of the Cedar Falls Community Foundation, welcome and thank you for joining us for the 2020 Community Builder Celebration. Normally we celebrate with a large social gathering. We get to mingle and know each other better and have a little food and drink and really have a nice time. But this year, because of the safety concerns of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are coming to you virtually. So you watching this at home are our audience. Everyone here that's off camera has a mask and is safely social distancing, and we are here cordoned off in the recital hall at the Hearst Center to bring you our celebration this year. We certainly hope and pray that in the very near future that we will all be able to meet again and gather socially. So this year's celebration includes two key items. First will be the presentation of the 2020 Melendy Spirit Award. I think of the Melendy Spirit recipient as on game day, if you have a choice of watching from the sidelines or getting out and being in the game. The Melendy Spirit recipients are those people that take action and get out and get involved. The second part of our celebration today is the recognition of the winners of our 2020 grant recipients. And again, those are made possible by people within our community who have decided it was important to take action and donate to make sure things can happen to improve the quality of life for all of us. So when I think about this, it really comes down to, if it's not us, who's going to do it? If it's not now, when is it going to get done? And that exemplifies our celebration today of the Community Foundation. So before we continue with our ceremony, I'd like you to hear from some of the other board members about what the Community Foundation does for Cedar Falls.
The Cedar Falls Community Foundation was established over 40 years ago. The Cedar Falls Foundation is a civic foundation to facilitate raising private funds for public goods. We are a nationally accredited foundation. Our mission is to inspire and connect individuals, families, and organizations to enhance the community of Cedar Falls. We support nonprofits, elevate educational opportunities, and build legacies through philanthropy. We are truly by Cedar Falls, for Cedar Falls.
I'm glad to be here today as part of the 2020 Community Builder Celebration, representing the Cedar Falls Community Foundation. I've become part of the fabric of Cedar Falls since 1987 when I moved from Northeast Iowa to attend UNI. Since then, I've become a small business owner, started and raised a family, and have been active in the Cedar Falls School District and our community. I call Cedar Falls my home. Becoming invested in Cedar Falls, I have served on church councils, Cedar Falls Public Library Board, the Cedar Falls Kiwanis, and the Cedar Falls Community Theater. I truly have seen the power of what the community can do when it works together. Today, we celebrate the many longstanding partnerships that we have built within our community. I have personally seen those partnerships while working with those organizations that have partnered with the Cedar Falls Community Foundation. As part of the library board, our partnership has helped fund many programs and events that would not be possible without this investment. Those extra funds are what help set our library apart from those in the state. Together, we can do great things. The foundation offers guidance which is beneficial to achieving long-term goals and programming, which individual organizations themselves would not be able to provide. Managing the generous gifts that the donors have entrusted to the Cedar Falls Public Library, the Cedar Falls Recreation Center, the Hearst Center of the Arts, Cedar Falls Community Theater, the Cedar Falls Women's Club, and Altrusa Club, to name a few, not only is a great honor to the Cedar Falls Community Foundation, but an opportunity to showcase our partnerships.
The Cedar Falls Community Foundation's civic projects are a collective celebration of the philanthropy and stewardship of the citizens of Cedar Falls. The impact of this foundation in existence since 1976 is notable. The Cedar Falls Rec Center expansion, Cedar Falls Community Theater restoration and renovation, Community Main Street streetscape and lighting have all been supported and made possible through the Round Trust or other Cedar Falls Community Foundation funds. While the foundation serves as fiduciary for the assets of outside groups such as the Community Main Street, it also serves as a trustee for the establishment of estate bequests, which benefit the community, cultural institutions, and civic groups. To demonstrate this impact, the Robert Eller Scholarship Fund has provided grants to 64 students traveling to 17 different countries since the Eller Fund was established in 2000. The Round Trust has gifted over $867,000 to the community since its inception. The Diamond Community Enhancement Fund has granted funds to support the Cedar Falls Authors Festival, several public art sculptures, and most recently funded the Marjorie Noon Art and Memoirs project. Each of these represents a celebration of the small town feel with big city sophistication right here where we live in our hometown. So often, local Facebook posts share remarks about how living in this community is idyllic and magical. So I guess Gary Kelly said it very best with his illustrative art, that famous poster, Cedar Falls, a great place to call home. Thank you.
This is Ty Kimball. I'm a very proud member of the Cedar Falls Community Foundation Board and also so proud to be in the Founders Club, celebrating the power of giving in Cedar Falls. Service can take two forms, volunteering time and donating resources. While volunteering our time can help make something happen faster or more economically, at the end of the day, it is the donation of resources that really makes many projects possible. The Cedar Falls Community Foundation can do nothing without donors. We have the great privilege of working closely with real people who have incredible passion for Cedar Falls and an incredible generosity. Often that is work done quietly in the background, and yet it is so important to make a positive, lasting difference in our community. On behalf of everyone at the Cedar Falls Community Foundation, we are thankful and forever grateful for all those people who have given to make Cedar Falls a better place for all of us. If this is something you have a passion for, we would love to help you create your legacy. And now it is time to celebrate our Melende Spirit Award winner.
The Melende Spirit Award was established by the Cedar Falls Community Foundation in 2011 to recognize those who have made outstanding contributions to Cedar Falls' quality of life through philanthropic or other means. The award is named for Peter Melende, who came to Cedar Falls in 1857 from Cincinnati, Ohio. He became an ardent community builder with contributions in arts and culture, education, and agricultural pursuits. He served the community in many positions, culminating with a term as mayor and writing the first history of Cedar Falls. In everything he did, he generated enthusiasm and raised money for Cedar Falls. Melende is remembered for his energy and willingness to serve, his strong convictions and high principles, and his promotion of and support for those principles and institutions which would benefit economic and cultural growth in Cedar Falls. He laid the groundwork for many of the institutions we still enjoy. The Cedar Falls Community Foundation accepts nominations of individuals, families, groups, or organizations who embody these same principles for the Melende Spirit Award. This year, we are proud to honor Dennis A. Downs with the Melende Spirit Award. Please enjoy our video tribute.
Dennis Downs grew up playing instruments and quickly became a talented musician. He earned his undergraduate and 2 master's degrees before teaching instrumental music in Nebraska and Kansas. Dennis moved to Cedar Falls in 1979, where he worked with the music programs in the Cedar Falls school system for 29 years, retiring in 2008. However, Dennis's contributions to our city extend far beyond all the students that he nurtured. Joining the Cedar Falls Municipal Band's trombone section in 1980, within a few years, then-director Tony Lund invited Dennis to become the municipal band's conductor beginning with the 1984 season. In accepting this new position, Dennis knew some changes were needed. Concerts were relocated from Main Street to Overman Park. Weekly programs were shifted from Thursdays to Tuesdays. Required auditions were initiated, and musicians' pay was increased. But Dennis was not finished with his initiatives. He adjusted programming and worked on improved funding from the city of Cedar Falls. Remarkably, the Cedar Falls Municipal Band is the oldest continuous municipal band in our state, being organized in 1891. And during its 129 years of existence, Dennis is only the 6th regular conductor since the band's founding, and he earned his 40-year membership pin this year. Dennis established the Friends of the Cedar Falls Band Group in 1993 to provide nonprofit charitable organization status, allowing tax-deductible donations to the band, a source of fundraising that continues to this day. Dennis has been most grateful to have outstanding support from the community. Every summer, Overman Park is filled with enthusiastic listeners of all ages. Each year, Dennis creates a short titled theme to reflect the character of that season programming, which is a mix of marches, medleys, overture, musical, soloist, reflective, patriotic, and novelty tunes. As Dennis says, something for everyone. Dennis has continued as a performing musician throughout the years, playing cello in symphonic and ensemble settings, including 14 years in the Waterloo Cedar Falls Symphony Orchestra, over 20 years in the Don Wendt Trio on backup bass and guitar, and on trombone with the Sugar Daddies Jazz Band, among others. The contribution the Cedar Falls Municipal Band makes to the quality of life in the Cedar Valley is extraordinary and exceptional in its impact and extent. Dennis has been responsible for its great success through his tireless efforts to maintain and enhance the quality of the musicianship of the band. It is with great pleasure that the Cedar Falls Community Foundation presents this trophy to Dennis A. Downs as recipient of the 2020 Melendi Spirit Award for connecting a community of all ages around making and sharing music.
I'd like to read the inscription on the award. The Melendi Spirit Award is presented to Dennis A. Downs for connecting a community of all ages around making and sharing music. On behalf of the Cedar Falls Community Foundation, I have the privilege of presenting this award, the 2020 Melendi Spirit Award, to Dennis Downs. Mr. Downs, thank you for everything you have done to enhance our community and make it a better life for all of us.
Thank you so much, Cyndi and John. Well done. And thank you all for this beautiful trophy. It's quite a work of art. I feel deeply honored and humbled to join such an impressive list of distinguished past recipients who have helped make life in our community better for everyone. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to our excellent Cedar Falls Community Foundation, especially to Foundation President John Lehman and to Executive Director Cyndi Sweet, to Board Member Judy Harrington, and to the very kind people who submitted my nomination, Paul Ryder, Judy Larkin, and Jim Brown. All good friends, and I look forward to some real handshakes and hugs at some point later on when this horrible pandemic is no longer a factor. Of course, I want to acknowledge the talented, dedicated members of our fine old municipal band and to the hundreds who attend and support our weekly summertime concerts in Overman Park. We're always so grateful to have our historic band hall building nearby and our iconic band shell for our performances and other events like Sturgis Falls Celebration. Finally, a song I wrote in 2003, and it ends with these plain, upbeat lyrics. Happy today, it's great to say, this is the place I want to stay. Join in the fun, come out and play, here in beautiful Cedar Falls, and so we do. Thank you.
It's now time to celebrate the recipients of our 2020 competitive grants. Each year, the Cedar Falls Community Foundation invites local nonprofit organizations to apply for grants that will make a positive impact to the citizens in Cedar Falls. And this year's competitive grants are being awarded from two funds. The first fund is the Diamond Fund for Arts and History, and the second fund is called the Round Trust. Now, the Diamond Fund was established as an estate gift by Saul and Joan Diamond, and it exists to promote lifelong learning, incorporating interactive or multisensory experiences in the fine arts or the history of Cedar Falls. The Round Trust was established in 1967 by the estate of LLC Round, and it exists to respond to significant capital needs within the community. For 2020, the CFCF is pleased to be able to award 5 grants from these two funds. So let's meet our grant recipients.
The symphony has been around for 90 years now, started in 1929, 1930. So we've been serving the community for all of those decades through lots of hard times like we're having right now. But we really are one of the foundational pieces of the arts community here in the Cedar Valley. And we do classical concerts at Gallagher Bluedorn. We do chamber ensemble concerts at the Brown Derby Ballroom in downtown Waterloo. We have lots of education programs for kids. We go out into the schools when we're able. And we also have kids come to Gallagher Bluedorn for full symphony concerts. And this year, like a lot of organizations, it's looking a lot different. We're doing several things online, some of our performances. We have some online feature programs, interviews with musicians, and so on. So we're adapting, and we're going to be fine. But it is going to look a little different. This grant helps to support one of our chairs, and what I mean by a chair, and this is a chair sponsorship, what I mean by that is that each of the players in the orchestra are compensated for their performance with the orchestra, and so there are costs associated with that. And so we have donors that have given us money to support the costs of having those players in the orchestra. And the Diamond Fund at the Cedar Falls Community Foundation has generously given us a grant for our principal clarinet chair. And Eric Walkman is our principal clarinet, fine clarinetist. And so the funds really help us to be able to have that kind of a quality person in our principal positions, not only at the clarinet, but throughout the orchestra. We're so grateful for the funding that we receive, that the Cedar Falls Community Foundation is such a fine repository for some of our donor funds that then are re-granted to us. And having the Cedar Falls Community Foundation just really at the center of a lot of different things in the community, in addition to the arts, is really a wonderful thing. And so we're just really grateful to be a recipient of some of their generosity, and then also the generosity of our individual donors. And we look forward to continuing to find ways that we can partner with the foundation.
We are the Hearst Center for the Arts. We are a community arts center here in Cedar Falls. We've been open since 1989. We offer a variety of programs, everything from in-person adult and education programs, which we're also doing online now, live music, live performances, authors' talks, book readings, artist lectures. We also have a wide variety of exhibitions that we host each year, both with local artists and regional artists, as well as traveling exhibitions from international venues. We know the arts are great connectors. We know that cities that have arts organizations tend to be more successful cities, more vibrant cities that draw tourists, but also people to live and work in their cities. So we're very proud to be able to offer a wide variety of programs to just make Cedar Falls a healthier, more vibrant place to live. We have the largest collection of paintings by Marjorie Noon. She's a Cedar Falls artist. She was born in 1898. She studied at the university here, wanted to be a teacher, but decided that teaching wasn't for her, so she went into the arts. And she actually studied at Stone City with Grant Wood and Adrian Dornbush. She's a really well-established artist. She traveled all over the Southwest and down into Mexico and Guatemala and did just a huge variety of really beautiful, vibrantly colored watercolor paintings. She's kind of a hometown girl, so we're really proud of her, and we want to celebrate her. So this year, we had a large retrospective exhibition of her work in the galleries. And as part of an extension of that project, we're really excited to be using the grant funding to publish a memoir of her life that was written by her brother, Ferner Noon, who many people will be familiar with, a writer from Cedar Falls. He wrote a memoir of her life in 1985, and we've been hoping to publish it and make it public, so we're finally able to do that. We have several funds with the Community Foundation. So our Friends of the Hearse, which is our support organization, we use the Community Foundation for memberships. We also have the Berg Fund, which we use quite often to help support her center programming, is housed with the Community Foundation. And the foundation's been a great partner for us. Just this last year, we received a grant to fund conservation work on a Marjorie Noon. So that was last year. So this new project is kind of an extension of that conservation project and the exhibition and now the publication and all of it. The Community Foundation has been a great partner through that.
North Star Community Services, we provide, in simple terms, services to people with disabilities. But in truth, that is so much. We do so much more than just provide services to people with disabilities. We create opportunities and provide support to achieve dreams and enjoy life in ways that maybe somebody didn't envision that they had that opportunity. We provide services in a person's home. So if they are trying to maintain or live in their own apartment or their own home setting, we will provide services in their home to help them learn how to balance checkbooks, make sure those bills are paid, eat a healthy meal, get to doctor's appointments, all the things that we do in our day-to-day lives that sometimes we take for granted. But some of the folks we support need additional supports to do that successfully. But we also provide day programs, and this is an opportunity where folks come to a central location, and we assist them in getting out into the community to explore, try something new, engage in an activity that they enjoy, develop social interactions and opportunities. So the list can go on and on and on. But in essence, those are our two key services that we provide here in the Cedar Falls and Cedar Valley community. We bring a component of inclusion and diversity to our Cedar Falls community by being that resource to our businesses and community members who maybe have limited or no experience interacting with a person with disabilities. So maybe how to support them in a restaurant, but maybe also how to accommodate. We sometimes forget that our physical disabilities, it's not as easy to access or maneuver within a restaurant. So that's just one example. But I think that that component of inclusion is a big part of what we do. It's going to allow us the opportunity to tend to some building repairs that are very much needed to our main building and our largest day programming site. What I want people to understand, though, it's not just about fixing up a building. It's about allowing us to continue to create and cultivate a safe programming environment, not just for the persons that we serve, which is most important, but it's also a work environment for the folks that are employed by North Star. I think it also, if you're not familiar with our funding structure, we're primarily Medicaid funded. We have no control over setting our reimbursement rates or how we generate income. And so we are very limited in how we can generate money to tend to these repairs. But what this does is it removes an administrative burden so that, one, I just know these building repairs are taken care of. But now I can really focus on the service delivery that we provide to those who attend our programs, whether that's in our site building, but also those who live here in the Cedar Falls area.
Our organization gears toward providing opportunities for learning, for networking, for volunteerism, and for meeting the needs of the community. The Women's Club maintains a Victoria home that has Cedar Falls history abounding in the home. But we also provide an intimate and unique space for groups in the area to hold meetings, to hold conventions. Cedar Falls Main Street had their convention there. We have district conventions. So it provides a variety of choices, plus individual choices for people to meet, like weddings and baby showers and all those kind of activities. And the COVID-19 really has hurt everyone, but it has hurt the Women's Club in the fact that we had so many events that were postponed or canceled. And we do keep our home up to date, try to, with money that comes in from the events. It's been wonderful to have this grant because we've been able to update a freezer that is over 37 years old. And a lot of the food preparation and in the kitchen is important because that's what draws in our money-making events that we provide to the community. So an updated and good freezer is so necessary because then it allows us to provide the services to the community. Very, very muchly appreciative of this grant that we received.
We are a preschool and childcare center in North Cedar, and we offer childcare preschool services to the Cedar Valley area and beyond. We serve Janesville. Some of our parents are in Cedar Falls, some Waterloo. We offer an alternative preschool, and we have wonderful teachers that have been long-term.
The preschool and child care center has been a benefit from the standpoint of providing parents with peace of mind, the sense that they can go to work or to school and know that their children are well cared for, well nourished, safe, learning, and in an environment that's encouraging and supportive of them becoming lifelong learners. And from that standpoint, it gives the parents the sense of they can go to work, they can go to school and know that their children are well cared for and that they don't need to be concerned. Right now, it is particularly an issue because before the virus hit, we were over 3,000 spaces short in Black Hawk County. We were getting calls all the time, having to put people on waiting lists or refer them to child care resource and referral. And at this point, it's grown even more because not all of the services have reopened. We are absolutely delighted to tell you that we have completed our work with the grant, and it has provided 3 very nice pieces of play equipment as a part of that funding.
We have a wonderful brand new playground, and the children absolutely love it. There's so many different activities for them to do, large muscle activities, nature activities. Because it's all nature oriented, it helps to teach the children about animals, about treating the environment well. And we are a green center, so we do our absolute best to make sure that everything everything is recyclable. All our new equipment that we got is made from milk cartons, recycled milk cartons. So it's important for us to teach children that at a young age, with the world the way it is now, that recycling is very important, and taking care of the things we have is very important.
Services and childcare that are quality services are really something we need to provide support and care for here, because it is so needed for our young families. And it also is an economic issue, because obviously it's difficult to attract young families if you do not have those kinds of resources. We sincerely appreciate the support of the Cedar Falls Community Foundation in the past, in addition to the playground assistance, and it's important in terms of maintaining quality services for the families in Cedar Falls.
Thank you for joining us today as we have celebrated and recognized individuals and organizations that have enhanced and enriched Cedar Falls and have helped to make our community the wonderful place that it is. The Cedar Falls Community Foundation is here to be a partner with you. We are a bottom-up organization that encourages, promotes, and assists individual citizens and organizations to develop and implement projects and programs for the benefit of Cedar Falls. Our vision is to be a trusted and empowering partner to donors who are passionate about making Cedar Falls an even better place to live. Donors make the difference. The Cedar Falls Community Foundation is our donors. We want to thank all of our donors who have chosen to make a difference in our community through donations to the Cedar Falls Community Foundation. We'd like to offer a special thanks to the members of our Founders Club. Founders Club members are providing unrestricted gifts of at least $3,000 spread over 3 years. The founders are enabling us to increase the scope and capabilities of the foundation to better serve you. Thank you, founders, for your commitment and support. Thank you to all of our donors. And thank you for joining us today.